Okay, so my notes. I just want to say a few things. I want to give everybody the thank you first because some people leave early and so forth. So thank you to the Solera Diamond Valley Warriors. Kathy, Donna, Teresa, all the people that show up at all those protests and write all those letters. You guys are amazing. I was not here for the planning commission meeting, so I was viewing it through YouTube TV on a ranch outside of Sacramento. And I was so proud of everybody because, and I was amazed how much knowledge we acquired and the things people knew, not just about the project, but about warehouse development overall. So I was completely impressed. And when we got the 5-0 vote, Alda was asleep. Our host was asleep in the living room with his CPAP on, and I was running around the house like this. We did it. They're like, what? So I partied on my own for about 10 minutes, and then I crashed too. So continue to thank people, all the people that wrote letters. Hillary, you wrote an excellent letter yesterday. Excellent. Let's see, what else? Krista Mason, who's supposed to be here, she hasn't showed yet, but she's been amazing. She did not win District 4 City Council. Well, there's always next time. As she said, it was my first attempt, and she plans on coming back. Roy? Amazing. You're a partner in crime, and we very much appreciate you. Not only you, the knowledge that you brought to us in a very short time. In 1 month, I learned more about warehouse development. I've been a commercial lender, so I know about stuff, but I didn't have this information. So thank you for that. And also Shaul Rosenrager, who is in Israel right now. He won't be joining us because I don't Zoom it. He would if we were Zooming it. He's been amazing as well. He's with the Green Coalition. So I know Kathy's been a liaison with the Green Coalition. They partner and made signs and did all kinds of stuff for us. So our hats are off to him as well. Anybody I've missed as far as partners in crime? All of us.
Everybody who shows up.
Everybody that shows up. Again and again. Because we're kind of worn out, right?
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
I mean, I'm saying it out loud. Maybe no one will show and I could just go home. One of those, thinking about that. I got an email from Tom Austin days ago that I finally got today that said, you know, if we could get 100 people at the city council meeting next week, that'd be great. He suggested we pay them, which I think is unethical. It's a very politician thing to do, and that's not me.
They're making political decisions, maybe we should
Right,
too.
right.
The bills are paying people to be here.
The carpenters, you know, carpenters do steel work as well, we found out. I think Donna told us that. So, maybe he didn't pay him.
They didn't get paid for it.
They didn't?
No.
How do you know?
Because I spoke to them. I used to be a carpenter, so I chit-chatted with them.
Ah,
They were there just because they kind of got a promise that there'd be more jobs for them.
has anybody
I also
got a
found
microphone for them?
Huh? Pardon?
Can everybody hear him?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what she says. I don't need a microphone. I'm very loud.
Well.
So they also said that I think there was only 3 people, carpenters from Hemet, that works on the curbing project. Not a lot of carpenters, just 3 out of the Hemet. If they get up there and say, all of these carpenters are out of Hemet, yeah, well, they're all out of the same, they're out of a local, and they all work out of there. But when I was a carpenter,
Right.
you never knew where you were gonna be. You could be everywhere. And also, if you don't work for the company that is doing that building, then you won't be on the job. And most good carpenters will find a company they work for and they stay there because they want to make sure they keep working. They don't move around. So they were there just to spiel the carpenter thing.
Well, it won't be long before they're done with their steel work, right? I mean, how long does that take? It's not a year, guaranteed.
Then they wanna move.
They'll finish that place in a year, is what they're doing, it's a tilt up, so. Okay, so on with my thank yous. The first thing is a meeting decorum. As always, everybody's opinion is welcome. We're not here to beat each other up. We're not here to maybe beat up the city council a little bit, or the planning commission. But, you know, they're all doing a job, just like our volunteers here, that it's kind of an ugly job for them, so. The next thing is the GoFundMe update. Let's take a peek at where we're at. Today, we had $34.45 to start. We've had another $100 within a couple days ago, so I think that balance would have been $35.45. Hi, Krista. Welcome. I told them you'd be here. Yeah. Thank you. So that was where we were at. You'll see that after we paid the fees of, make that a little bigger for you, $111.32. We had a balance of $33.68. I then paid the attorney $1,500 for the environmental review, as we knew. And you'll see the balance is $18.34. What has to happen is GoFundMe is really quirky. They do not allow you to make individual withdrawals or single withdrawals for separate amounts. It's either all or nothing. So I took the $34.45 or the $33.68, withdrew it, put it in my account, and then made another contribution for the difference of $18.34. There's always a way to trick that stuff, right? I'm an old banker, commercial banker, so we know how to trick it. So that's where we're at today. Abby did send, our attorney did send another letter, an email letter on the day of the planning commission. Got it in before 2 o'clock, so it's a matter of formal comment. Again, asking them, do not approve this project, you can't go forward, I mean, it's cookie, whatever else she said. So we'll owe her another $500. So the $18.34 minus $500 minus the 2.9% and 30 cents for one contribution, or two, because another person made a contribution as well. So that will be the balance. I don't have it today unless I go to do a withdrawal. It doesn't show me the balance. So it has its limitations. Hannah.
Hello.
Wow. Welcome. I've been begging her to come to these meetings. So that's where we're at today. Any questions about the balance or? The one question I have is, what if we don't need any more money? What are we gonna do with that money?
Have a party.
We have a party? A warehouse party? I'm all for that.
We already had the trial run.
If somebody plans it, I'll write the check. From there. It's, you can certainly do that though. Certainly have it here at the ballroom, right? Let's hope we win the war. Pardon me? Hire a DJ? Jay? Warrior music.
I would have a huge sign.
You'd have a huge sign built, and what will the sign say? No more warehouses.
With lights.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so this is the current, I know it's hard to see, I'm sorry you guys. This is the current project list of Hemet, of the warehouses that have expressed interest in Hemet. We received applications on. The ones I'm pointing out to you, this first one, is that you, Roy? They're calling it Hemet Industrial Park. Oh no, this is the one near Acacia.
Yeah.
It's, at the end, it's 2.2 million square feet. It's not just the one we're seeing on Kirby, it's the one going in back of it at Florida and Acacia, and that's it, right?
It's a phase two. Yeah, it's a phase two.
It's phase 2 of the current project,
To the Newland Kirby project.
but it's not Newland Kirby,
But it's phase two, yeah.
but it's not the same developer,
Not the same developer.
or the same owner. The developer, who is it? Applicant, Sergio Sanchez, I don't know who that is. That's any Sergio Sanchez on the street, we don't know. This one is the Wentworth one, it's the National Tube Supply, you see that going up, right? Can you see that, can you guys see it?
Yeah.
It's 85,000 square feet, it looks like a behemoth, but compared to the others, it's nothing. And it is a manufacturer, going into manufacturing, exiting on a manufacturing street. Well, with that said, the circulation of the traffic is going on, where? Sanderson.
Yep.
To where? Florida. To where?
Warner.
Warren. Yeah,
Or up to-
maybe,
Up to Ramona Expressway,
wherever we don't want it to be, because our streets are not made for that.
through Labs Canyon.
And I've got a couple pictures here, I'll show you if I can remember how to get them. Our friends Victoria and Joe Wood have been very active in our Warriors as well, when driving around, as you know, she's an Uber driver, and she drives our community. They've been going to all the warehouses that she's been dropping people off and taking pictures. Well, they're perfectly built. They've got 4 lanes, they've got turn lanes, they've got curbs that are cement, you know, they've got walkways, they've got bicycle paths, they've got everything that you would think, but Hemet, where can we fit a 4-way?
Nowhere.
Gilmore? Where they've got
Nowhere.
JW Field or JC Field Cookies or whatever places? Where? I don't know. Where? Maybe Florida, if they took land away at the corner of Florida and Warren? But that's as far as they could build a 4-way.
Florida's a state road.
So it needs state approval, they can't take it. So I just don't understand how anyone would think, they should have shut these apps down in the beginning and said, no. You don't fit our general plan, you don't fit our circulation plan. You know, we're gonna have to do rezoning for you and our streets can't handle it. I mean, it's just simple, right? I mean, there's no, I don't know how. Roy, any comments?
And in the immortal words of Connie on the planning,
Hold on here.
It's in the immortal words of Connie on the planning commission, what is the benefit to the city of Hemet?
Mr. Kelly,
When she
welcome.
said that, my heart just melted.
Yeah.
We're,
Yeah.
you know,
And, yeah, what I'd like some of you to do, one thing I would just want to say, let me just talk for a minute. then I'll-
As you do. We've got that minute going on.
I'm so amazed at how quickly this group came together. It took me 6 months at the Lakes at Hemet West to get a group this size that was actually interested. And the way we did it, we contacted the recreation club and explained to them that you realize once this warehouse gets built, the part of the golf course is gonna be closed, the pickleball place is gonna be closed, a lot of the outside walking facilities is gonna be closed because of all the noise and and the next thing you know, when next time we had a meeting, the room was full. You gotta hit them where it hurts, right? Okay, in the last, meeting at the planning commission, that's posted on my website, it's posted on Gene's. Listen to the words that the planning commissioners were asking, Newland, construction company or development company, whatever, what they were asking them, because that's what you wanna reiterate when those of you that get up to speak, and by the way, most of you that speak, extremely eloquent.
Woo-hoo.
Extremely eloquent.
And
I was
smart.
like, I was going like, man, they're better than I am, you know? And I used to talk for a living, you know?
You still do.
Use their words. What is the benefit for them? Right now, I can't get it off the top of my head, but there was about a 20-minute stretch there where they were just tearing this guy down, and I was sitting behind him and I was watching him get shorter and shorter and shorter, you know?
It was good.
This battle we won was great, but the war is still blazing. And you guys are more than likely gonna have your issues done. And I'm taking everything that I learned from you guys and watching all this, and I've got Hemet West, which I'm turned around here, but I headed that way. I've got the same fight, and I can use a lot of the same stuff because our environmental impact report is gonna be very similar to yours. And we're using the same attorney, so it's even more reason it's gonna be the same as yours. And that's how we're gonna beat that. And I've been doing this for a year, and I'm just amazed at how fast you guys came up. Nice to meet you. And just thank you for helping to teach me, because you did, all right? Thank you much.
Hey, Roy, are you the Hemet 63 warehouse, Florida and Acacia?
That's me.
That's you. It says the environmental is in preparation,
Yes,
is
it
in
is.
progress, but that doesn't say draft. Is that just an error on their part?
How old is that?
This is from the staff meeting on November 12th.
Okay,
Because the city council had asked for how many projects are in process and they
Yeah,
developed this.
I'm waiting to hear from Becky at our HOA
Okay.
for when that comes in.
I keep looking, I haven't seen anything, I haven't seen a
I'm
draft,
supposed to be
I haven't
here
seen
first
that.
call.
Yeah, okay. Okay. And there we are, Warren Simpson, everybody knows?
Can I make a comment about the
Absolutely.
phase two?
Uh-huh.
So, I just wanna make a comment about the phase two of the one, at the Newland Kirby. That project is gonna go through the same process as the previous project, so where we didn't get notification on the EIR because they peeled it off of the general plan. So we have to make sure we're watching the timing on that, because that's how they'll pass that one through.
What's the phase two?
So the phase two is that portion that faces Sanderson, so what we
Oh,
were
the
talking
phase of the
about-
project.
Yeah, the phase two of the
Okay,
project,
okay.
yeah. So the
Yeah.
way that Newland Kirby was approved, where we weren't notified because they peeled the EIR off of the general plans EIR, they're gonna do the same, cause it's on the same parcel. So they're gonna do the same thing again, where they don't have to notify us because it's already been done through the EIR process with the general plan. So we have to pay attention to when that one goes to public hearing, cause we're not gonna have a chance to comment on
I'll tell you, I'm looking every day at that stuff.
that. Yeah,
Whether I'm here or not, I wake up at 3 in the morning and look.
right.
Did they post it?
Right.
Are they
And
tricking
then-
us?
Yeah, and then reiterating that all of these warehouses, the cumulative impact of all of these warehouses, because they are evaluating them all separately. They're not evaluating the cumulative impact of the pollution, all of the aspects that we saw that were significant unavoidable impacts. What's the cumulative impact of that?
Yeah.
So we have
Now,
to reiterate that as well. You know, as we go in for each project, how does this affect us as a whole when we have all of these projects?
The city council did ask for that cumulative information from the staff on November 12th. The city council and the planning commission are having a powwow, the 16th, I believe, of December. It's been the 12th, it's been the 16th, it's been the 17th, I believe it's scheduled for the 16th, which is the day the planning commission meets. And the city council had asked for the cumulative effects in heaven of all the 9 warehouse projects that are currently under app. And that would be these 9 projects. And one of them includes the one in San Jacinto at Midway and Santa Fe. And it's called Santa Fe Industrial, and it's 350,000 square feet. It's just north of the cemetery. So those people won't care. But their neighbors do.
I heard they were dead against it.
Did you hear that, Roy? Roy said they're dead against it. Yes, Tom?
Hello.
I'm
Can you hear
Tom.
me? Okay, so here's my take on it. The planning commission did not approve the project, correct?
Kirby Simpson, right?
Yes, ours, Simpson. Okay.
Ours, dear to our hearts.
And the planning commission, every one of them, God bless them, had questions. We cannot vote yes for this because this is not right. Because there's no consideration for traffic, there's no consideration for roads, okay? So we cannot let the council, we can't take the foot off the gas. We have to pressure them in writing, not just show up. Because as of right now, the city council couldn't approve this, right?
Yes, they could.
When it's
yes.
appealed. Yep,
But I mean, like, they're gonna meet Tuesday, right? Can they approve it Tuesday?
it's not on the agenda for Tuesday. The
All right,
only
so
thing
we
on
got a
the
little
agenda
breathing room.
is the
So-
moratorium.
So Gene, and somehow with some legalese or something, we need to put together something that lets them know. We've requested, right, mentioned it in the city council meeting, I mentioned it in the planning commission meeting. Do we know the revenue per year, not the upfront little money they're gonna put up that's gonna go off into the wind? The revenue per year, how much is that to the city of Hemet? Do you know?
I don't know.
We don't know. Someone needs to tell the city council, planning commission should do that, and not take it from the developer, the applicant who lies.
Right.
So we could say, okay, city council, we're gonna get $1 million, I'll pick a number. But guess what? It's gonna cost us $3 million to maintain the roads, set everything else aside. $3 million. If you vote for this, you're either an idiot or you're taking money under the table. You see what I'm saying?
I think the last.
We have to get them to give us that information. How are we, whatever that mechanism, I'm not an attorney, okay, I'm not even that smart, I graduated third grade though. So, listen, people, I'm telling you, time is of essence. I know from the people that know that if we don't really put the spotlight on them, they're gonna approve it. And they're gonna approve it, and the city's gonna lose, and the developer's gonna win.
Yep.
One of the commissioners, can I keep talking? One of the
Very
commissioners,
shortly. We got a lot to get through.
I'm gonna hurry up
And then you'll leave. The rest of us will be trying to get through this.
You're right about that.
I know.
Okay, so,
I've been here.
one of them being said, okay, so let me see if I understand this. Here we have this perimeter of the project, the 75 acres.
Okay, use the mic. Ice cream, it's like an ice cream.
Okay, and
There you
you're
go.
gonna put all these trees and you're gonna improve the road pulling out. What about the miles to Winchester? What about the miles up, at least to Florida? These are two
Yeah.
lanes and two lanes. These should be 4 and 4. They need to be conditioned to do those road improvements. They need to be conditioned to have 70 to 80% of all the people that work in the warehouse, for whatever that company's name is, be required to be residents of the city of Hemet, so that that income stays in the city. There's gotta be some benefit, not just for the developer to get what he wants and sell it and go off in the sunset. Okay?
Yeah, he said.
That's the things we have to get accomplished.
He said he would not improve the bridge.
That's a pretty big, make it build a road bridge. Here's what happens.
He
I
only
don't
wanted
care.
to do half of Simpson.
You wanna do a halfway repavement, yeah.
What about
Right.
the left?
Wait.
Off of Domingoni Road?
I'm sorry, sir, we can't hear you.
What about the left-hand turn lane to get onto Warren Road from Domingoni?
They have no plans to make it more than a two-way street.
Well,
Here's
it's
the-
gonna be a one-way street because the semis are gonna back up about a quarter.
Here's the problem with all this. Unless they are conditioned to do what's necessary to handle the traffic and the roads, unless they're required, and if you require it, they're gonna go, well, that's gonna cost us 15 to 20 million. Who cares?
You're back out.
Then pull your application. See, that's what it's gotta be. I'm done.
Okey doke. All right, Harriet, hold on, we've got a mic coming your way. Yeah, you do.
So you keep saying that they have to be conditioned, is there something legally that we can ask for?
No.
How we're just suggesting to them, and they have not listened to suggestions
They don't have to.
yet, so.
They don't have to, because they have the almighty authority to change the general plan, they can rezone, they can give them variances. This project alone has a general plan exemption, a rezone from mixed use to business park, I was saying it backwards all the time, and 2 variances, one to height, and one they wanna add 141 parking spaces, above and beyond the developer,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
to our project.
So your suggestion to us would be what, attendance at the meeting?
Absolutely, all of them,
Is it better to write or to speak?
all.
All the above.
I write, I call, I speak,
Okay. And if we want,
to the city council.
Just city council, not individual?
Individual, they have to, it's considered a Brown Act violation if you do it in group, so you have to do it individually, right?
You think that's better than a group, Jean?
A group email,
Yeah.
because it's, they can't consider it because it's a violation of the Brown Act.
They have to be able to.
That's the meeting act. If it's a daisy chain in any way where more than 2 people
Thank you.
are on an email, it's considered a formal meeting.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
that's a Brown Act violation.
so if
Same
you,
thing with the planning commission.
I didn't know that. Thank
Yeah,
so if
you're
you.
welcome. Sorry, Harriet.
Really? So if we want to either speak or to write or do both, is there a time frame involved, like it has to be by a certain time?
If you want your
On the day
written
of the
comments to
meeting?
be included the day of the meeting, and as a matter of record, they have to be in before 2 p.m. That's what it says everywhere. If your comments are submitted in writing before 2 p.m., they'll be a matter of record in the meeting. And if you show up, you have to fill out a white card there, not a yellow card like ours, and you get to speak for 3 minutes. Krista could give me her 3, you could give me your 3, you could give me your 3, just don't give them to Tom, because,
I'm not gonna be there Tuesday.
anyway. Yes, Pam?
Is it possible to get an artist rendering of a 60-foot building and the size would be 8 Costco's on top of 8 Costco's is what it would be? Can we get a rendering of that? How much of the city it blocks out or the amount?
Did everybody hear that?
Yeah.
Is it possible to get a rendering of a 60-foot building, which is equal to 8 Costco's, which, not quite sure, but, because they're,
Costco's range from 22 to 30 feet and that's gonna be 60 feet.
so it's double.
So it'll be
Double,
16
triple.
Costco's, 8 on the bottom, 8 on the top, that's how big it'll be.
Hmm.
16 Costco's, 8.
I'm not sure your
on
math,
top of
but-
8.
We can talk about that later. Yeah, I don't know of an
That
artist.
means huge.
I don't know how to hire an artist.
They had a rendering already when they were showing.
They do, I'm gonna show that in a
It
minute.
didn't show the background, it just showed their building, it didn't show the background, and that's it. So they said, we'll have trees to cover it,
Right.
they don't have 60
You know, you can go online and Google, Scott, I Googled this morning, warehouse is 1.2 million in square footage, and it showed the big plot of them on the map. So you can look at it that way. Of course, I didn't know the height.
Oh, her question was good,
It's a good question.
because they said the trees that would be covering, I'm sorry, it looks like a prison, sorry.
I agree.
On Kirkland, in fact, I wanted to, I've been in Washington, sorry, Jean,
It's okay, no worries.
I'm
You're
back,
good.
I'm back, but, I came back and I went down Kirby to go to Polly's Pine, and all of a sudden, it looked like a prison. And if I was there the other Tuesday, whenever the meeting was, Pam, I would have asked all the council, who owns a home in Hemet? Who actually owns a home in Hemet? And my other question was, have you driven by the Kirby warehouse? That looks like who has actually drove by there? I have.
Well, the mayor did a beautiful photo op for the press there
Did he?
last week, yeah, and they wouldn't let Roy in.
Right.
Roy's got press credentials, cause he has a whatever channel, channel 21, yep.
So that was my question, Jean. How many of them actually drove by Kirby to see
Well,
this
they all-
ugly
All
building?
city council members must reside in the district they represent. So
Oh.
Joe Molly's lives at Seven Hills.
Or they rent? No?
They have to live here.
Oh.
Yeah, he does. That's why all those people love him over there. Yeah. Now, the planning commission has to reside in their sphere of influence of Emmett. So they could live in San Jacinto, they could live in Homeland, they could live in, I guess, Winchester. I don't know about Menifee. I don't know if it goes that far.
It can.
Because of
yeah.
Riverside County's plan, so it's whatever's in Riverside County's plan.
It's a sphere, yeah, but it's in the sphere of influence.
Yeah, yeah. So,
And what I wanna say is that a lot of the renderings that they present to us, they're showing it as a mature trees or the mature landscaping. They're not showing what it accurately is going to look like when it's being built, yeah. So they're not portraying accurately what it's gonna look like for some time.
Even the photos that I have of it, of the rendering of it,
It's beautiful.
The trees are still really little,
Yeah.
even though they're making them look mature.
Right.
And there's no trucks.
all right, I'm gonna move on from this chart, but go ahead. Yes?
I just have a comment about Tuesday's, council meeting. The only, agenda item is the moratorium on
The warehouse
warehouses.
moratorium, right.
Can we still get up and speak about our project?
Yeah, you can speak on a non-agenda item, you just write that on your white card,
Okay,
and then you should do those first.
okay,
Been my experience. Yeah,
thank you.
you're welcome. Yes?
My concern is after watching the developer, seeing the developer speak, he does lie or he manipulates the truth. And I'm sure right now he has many schemes planned about how he's still going to be putting this warehouse up there.
Yeah.
And I don't know what money he'll throw at them or what he's gonna promise them. Probably more on the Warren Road going down, maybe expanding it. If it'll happen, who knows? But
Doubt it.
that would be my biggest concern.
Yeah, we have to throw at the planning commission the circulation issues with the traffic. You cannot send those trucks down a two-way road. It's impossible.
Right.
You had an experience, you share your experience yesterday?
In their current condition.
Well, in any condition.
Yesterday, I was standing at the corner of,
It's an ice cream
Way to
cone.
go,
It's
Callie.
on.
okay, it's ice cream
There you
cone.
go, ice cream cone.
I was standing at the corner of Acacia and Sanderson.
Yes, you were.
Yes, I did. And, the lights change and the traffic goes and everything. Well, the people coming from the Kirby direction on Acacia towards Sanderson, traveling west, when they get to the stoplight on Sanderson, there's 3 lanes going west. One of them turns right to go on Sanderson, one of them goes straight across up to Acacia, on Acacia, and the other one turns left to go on Sanderson. I look over there and there is this behemoth of a truck in the right-hand lane, which my little Highland, it's my old car. My little Scion makes it tight there. He's in the right turn lane and regular traffic is in the middle lane, and then there's left turn people, and the light turns green. How is this guy gonna get this truck out into the intersection without pulling out to the left because he has a lot of cars coming right beside him?
Right.
He had to put on his air horn, and he blasted it all the way around the corner so that no one would run into him because he
You know,
had some little control.
It's
we need some videos and stuff like that.
We'll wait till he's just one of.
Oh, hold on
8
a
or
second,
9
we have
in
some
one.
other arms up, and
Yeah.
we'll get you. 1 minute? You can hold on to that,
There
you can
won't
give
be
me
a
a run.
7 lane anymore.
I just wanna know, what's the plan for the Stetson-Warren intersection with the four-way stop? Because yesterday, I was at that intersection behind a 16-wheeler who's trying to make a right, going north, trying to make a right-hand turn onto Stetson. And he had to wait for other cars, and other cars were like trying to move over, get out of his way so he could make his turn. He didn't have to use his air horn, but
The city and the developer have no plans
They don't give it.
to make any road changes or improvements beyond the frontage road of their project.
No lights.
I think they're gonna have a light there.
Well, they're supposed to
Is what I've
contribute
heard.
to their fair share of the light. So what happens is, in this case, until there's other developments that contribute, the money will go into a pot, and it will sit there until another development comes in and contributes to the light.
And until then, no light is,
Until then.
Installed.
Right.
no street,
Because it's
no
very.
stoplight.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very expensive, and they don't wanna incur that cost.
Right.
So the money will sit there, and they'll fight it. That is one aspect they will fight, because of how expensive it is to put a signal there. And as a commuter, I've seen the same thing. I've seen 2 trucks trying to make a turn at the same time. I've seen trucks go over the median on Florida to make a turn because the turning radius is not wide enough. So we don't have the infrastructure.
Alda and I were on our way to the planning commission meeting, we were stopped at the corner of Sanderson on Florida, going east, and a big rig ran the red light turning left on Sanderson.
Right.
On our way to the planning commission meeting, it's happening everywhere.
Right.
They're in a hurry, well, I was driving, and that guy was going through that light so fast, I would've never been able to get a video. You know?
Well, I think,
And we lost a city employee last
Okay, we need microphones here.
well, I did the thing with Kathy on Saturday, and, that gentleman, Dennis Young, love him, I thought he was gonna be here. We were, it's so busy on that corner, Kathy, right? And we're looking, here's just this one truck, little truck, I'm making this up, an Amazon truck. It takes like 3 cars to turn left, right? When we get that semi trucks going, what did they say? It'll be like 4 to 5 cars turning left or right, right? You think the traffic's bad now? Oh my gosh, okay.
Well, we know it's an issue. The circulation in Hemet is terrible today. It will be 1,000 times worse with warehouses in the city.
Correct.
right? Okay,
Well, I think we brought up the issue of the air pollution as well. That was a very good point that was brought up to the commission. You know, the cumulative impact of the air pollution
Right.
with all of the warehouses, even with this Newland Kirby one, we still have to deal with it because it's coming in, right? So we're gonna deal with the impact of that warehouse actually being in use, and the trucks.
actually what's happening, us west people of Emmett, we're going to Menifee. We're going down Dominigoni to shop. We are not going over there. I refused to go to Sprouts the other day.
Good luck getting
I went down in Winchester and went to Sprouts. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
good luck with that. 'cause that's-
I know, that's gonna be
your
bad
route
too.
to the 215, and that's gonna be,
Where are we gonna go to get out of here?
you're not.
What about a disaster? Wow.
Listen,
Oh,
you
that's
guys-
the
you're
other
talking-
thing.
You're talking
Yeah.
about the roads, anywhere, and this is almost everywhere. You've got, say, 3 lanes, right, a right-hand turn lane, I'm gonna go straight, or a left-hand turn. You put 3 semis in any of our left turn lanes, they're gonna be in the, I'm going straight lane.
Correct.
So that light could be green, but if the left-hand turn light isn't green, everybody's at a red light.
Well, what's happening there? They're idling to the point of the pollution.
And so's everybody behind them who can't
Well,
go
without a
because
doubt.
they've got the lane
Yep,
blocked.
yep. Okay, before I move on, before anybody else talks, I want to say this. I would like to have this presentation put on the Solera Diamond Valley website so you all have access to it, because there's a lot of information here, and we're not gonna get through it tonight. There's no way, just so we all know. And I'll get you a copy too, Krista, and Roy, you'll get a copy as well.
Yeah, I'll post it on all my sites.
Okay, great. What we have here is the current truck route in Hemet. And let's see, whoop, wrong key. I pressed the wrong thing. Right here, where am I, you guys? Can you find me? Where's Warren? Right here?
There, the curvy one.
Yeah.
I can't see a thing. What are you talking about? Okay, here's Kirby.
Oh,
Here we are, Warren.
Warren, yep.
It goes up, the red,
It's San Jacinto.
the San Jacinto's truck route. Simpson Road is not a truck route. It's not a truck route today.
You're right.
40% of the traffic is going up Simpson Road. And it's not a truck route. The city, in their planning stage, and what that whole 17th of, or 16th of December is, they wanna talk about amending the truck routes. They're talking about making Acacia part of the truck route. And where the heck else? State Street is a truck route. State Street is part of it. And you'll be able to see all that when you pull this up as a copy.
You know Dominigoni's gonna become a truck route.
Is it?
That's the route to.
Well,
I think it's designated as a historic highway.
as a what highway?
Historic.
A scenic highway.
Yeah, maybe that's why they're only sending the other 15%
That's
of
probably done by the
Dominigoni.
state or this.
Yeah,
What about Warren Road? What's that?
it's a truck route.
It is?
Yeah,
Wow.
right?
But not, it's not marked as on this down low, but only higher.
What, Warren?
The truck routes are marked in red, correct?
No, that's San Jacinto's truck route. The blue are Hemet.
Oh, I got you, sorry.
San Jacinto, look, I'm trying to make it bigger so everybody can see it, and then you're missing a lot of stuff
Gotcha,
when I'm
okay,
doing
yeah.
that, right? So that's Florida, I assume,
Yeah.
right here. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Isn't that every major street in Hemet?
I can't hear, pardon me?
Isn't that all the major streets in Hemet?
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess so. Florida, Warren, State Street,
Sanderson, Stetson.
Stetson goes nowhere. Except to California.
Actually. they
Oh, it
don't
does
even
go
have-
down.
They don't even have Stetson highlighted.
No, it's not, yeah,
It's highlighted over there.
over where?
So they told us the other night there's gonna be 1,000 trucks out of our warehouse. The 40% is gonna go out Warren. Has anybody added up all of the trucks for all of the things to find out how many thousands of trucks are gonna be through here every day?
That's what the city council has asked for. We don't have the paperwork on all 9 projects. So let's say that right off. So there's no way, until we get information, generally the draft environmental, unless they do a phase one versus a temporary intermediate environmental, phase one. Because the Kirby project didn't have an environmental report.
What they did is they used the general plan, so when the general plan was analyzed in 2012, they used what they projected to happen on that parcel in the general plan, and they used that EIR to build the current project. But they didn't take into account all of the projects and how would.
They used an EIR for Hemet overall to document the project for Kirby.
Yes, they.
Kirby Newland.
Right.
How ridiculous is that from 2012? It is 2024, right? I'm just thinking, wow. They did start to update the plan in April of 24. I've got a copy of it all redlined. It's out on the website. If anybody needs sleeping material. So any questions about that? This will be, I'm sure that management will agree that this is important enough to have out on the website. Right, Carl? Wherever you are. Are you still here, Carl? Did Carl leave us?
No, I'm sitting right here.
Oh, there you are. I never know who you are with that hat.
Oh, yeah.
There you are. That's much better. So I'm sure we can get some influence from the board too, because it doesn't cost you anything, or you either, Dennis. It doesn't cost anything. So this is, what else do I have? Anything else? We know about Newland Simpson. We gave a warehouse project update. This is from the attorney. And her review is 27 pages of the draft environmental report. This was sent to the city, sent to the planning commission, and it's very, very pointed in many areas. This first one just discusses the size of the project, and that's land use designation requires a general plan amendment. That's why I put it in black, because it's horrid. It talks here about the amount of truck traffic going up the different roads. It's really important. The other one is, it says here down in the underline, as designed, the project site is maximized with development, whereas shrinking the buildings or eliminating building space for truck parking could provide measurable environmental and public health benefits. Because when it was zoned for mixed use, it was zoned for 100, I believe the number's 150 residential homes, and then some small shopping things and things of that nature, and small industrial buildings, commercial buildings, not industrial. I thought I saw you talking. No? And what she said here, down here, is that thus the project will result in irreversible changes to the local and regional environment. Meaning, she's made comment throughout here about Dominagoni Mountains, about the gateway to Hemet, and how important that is. Yeah, right? So let me see what else I can show you today. Uh-oh, wrong place. So this is what it would like. This is what we see today, right, when we come through? This is what we're gonna see. That's our new gateway.
It'll never look that good.
Now see those mature trees?
When 2019, we had that beautiful populating season. Yeah. Would never look that good.
The bottom, it'll never look as good as that bottom picture.
Oh, or the Dominagoni Mountains. When I come down and, Connie Clark mentioned at the planning commission the other day, she said when she coasts in on Dominagoni, it's serene, it's peaceful, it's what Hemet's supposed to be.
Correct, yes.
Can you imagine all the people, whoop, here I go again. Me and my pointer. Expecting to see the lake and the entry of Hemet, and then find that it's this big old building, the behemoth, as Kathy would say.
Yeah.
How horrid that would be.
Horrible.
Yeah.
And that's the pretty part.
It's just the beginning.
Yeah.
When I was looking at Winchester's general plan and projects, I'm telling you, there's warehouses going in everywhere. It was, it made me really tired yesterday when I was looking at it.
Has anybody done any research on, I know 25% of our property tax goes to the county Riverside. I don't know what percentage of that actually goes into Hemet. You know, that might be
Talking about
another
real
avenue
property
to
tax?
look at is loss in property values. It's gonna lower income because of property tax, because some of that does come into the city.
That number's.
Now, if you look at your bill,
It's minimal?
It
Okay, I
shows
didn't
you-
know. I just
it-
knew 25%
The
went to the
amount
county.
that Emmett makes is, I ran the numbers on the lakes at Emmett West on that 66 acres. And once it's developed into a $30 million project, the city of Emmett in, property taxes will get $3,750 a year.
Can I speak to that?
All right, well, good, I'm glad it was looked into.
Okay, here's what I read. When if this Simpson Road project's built, it's gonna be valued at 200 million. Property tax on that's gonna give him at 12% of annual property tax. You're talking $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. It's gonna cost more to keep these streets up than that money.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's gotta be brought to their attention. If we don't do that, we're gonna fail. We have to, you're gonna say,
what are
city
you
council.
prepared to do, Tom? Can you put
I don't
something in
know,
writing
you're
for us?
working with the attorney, can we write something that says, look, if.
No, you don't understand what we hired her for. Her scope was to review the environmental. We can hire her for $650 an hour if y'all wanna pay that price tag. I'm not gonna pay that price tag. I don't know about you guys, but
Hey, something.
well,
Listen, the whole point is, we need to ask them and make them answer it, and let it be recorded, a live thing. Can you tell us, city council, if you're going to approve this project, how much are you gonna get in annual money?
as you did last week at the
Every
planning
time I
commission.
get up there, I say
I
the same
know.
thing. And if you will share that with us, then also, see, the planning department, planning staff is incompetent, I'm sorry. I'm not talking about you. They're supposed to be the ones that say, hey, look, we gotta have the roads improved, we have to have this, we have to have a light.
You talk about the development staff that,
The gentleman that gave the presentation, he doesn't know squat, because you have to have roads going west on Simpson and roads improved right now before that project opens the doors to facilitate it. Otherwise, we're saying, okay, council, it's okay to get $50,000 a year in revenue to the city of Hemet, and yet the city of Hemet's gonna be looking at a couple of $100,000, $500,000 to repair the roads. Does that make any sense?
none of it makes
I
sense,
digress.
none of it
Done.
makes sense to me.
$1 million a mile of two-lane road.
Right.
It's 1 million.
Make them vote yes on that when you put that in front of their face.
How do you expect me to make them vote?
You
No, I'm
mentioned-
5'2", in
You
case you didn't
mentioned we have
notice.
a surplus in our GoFundMe.
I can't hear you, sir. You have the microphone?
You had mentioned we have a surplus in the GoFundMe.
We do,
I can get-
$1,300.
I can get more donations through my flying club, okay, and I think we can get more people to chip in. Maybe we should get our attorney to look into that, because all they understand is dollars and cents. They don't give a rat's about the air quality, the traffic, or anything else. It all comes down to the almighty dollar, and that's the only way you're gonna get this thing to stop.
Amen.
That's it.
Okay. So, on to, where was I? This speaks to the farmland, and that the general plan says if you're gonna take up farmland, you've gotta find a way to make up for that. In this case, they're just not doing anything. We're losing everything here. There was a project not long
We're
ago.
gonna grow spiders.
Well, I wanted to make a comment about that because once a project goes in, it's gonna dictate what happens around it.
Yes.
Right? So if this isn't, right, if this is an industrial project and then we follow, like, say we start to follow AB 98 and those guidelines, it can hurt us, but it can help, it can hurt and help. Because then every project that's around that project will have to follow those guidelines, which means that, what are we gonna have? More industrial projects, more warehouses around it, because that's all that will be able to go there. So that's something we need to, yeah, we need to let them know that as well, like this now will dictate what happens around it.
Yep.
The same with, any other warehouse that goes in.
Why don't you ask the council, where are you if you have to expand this industrial area? Where do you live? Are you gonna be affected?
Exactly.
They're not gonna be affected out here on the west side.
It's all about the money.
They're not gonna be affected out here, and there are many areas, there's not a lot of land here in Hemet, except on the west side. We're it.
Yeah.
I mean, you drive through Hemet, where do you see any land? Little parcels, nothing much. I don't see any
Where are
other
their
land.
houses?
Pardon
Where are
me?
their houses?
What?
Where they live, and how their family and their neighbor is being affected.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what we can find out maybe is where they live, who's in there, and start talking to their neighbors and let them start talking to them. Let's see what happens.
How about it? That's the Marine in you coming out.
Well, I think what Kathy's saying is we need a few more warriors.
Yeah, cause I can't do it all.
No, we can't. Yeah, it's impossible. We're doing as much as we can all the time. Yes?
Would it be a good idea to contact media like TV or
Ah.
that would be good?
It's funny you say it. We've reached out to Jeff Horstman, to the press enterprise, and he's not taking the article at this point.
He's waiting, I spoke to him last week, and, I wanted him to, post the link where people could sign up for the class action lawsuit. And he won't do that until we can name the lawyer. And
Ah.
we can't name the lawyer until we're actually.
There you go.
I gotta get enough signatures.
How many does he need?
I want 1,600.
You've only got 100, what?
We got 214 or something like that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's, I mean, I don't have a whole lot of ability to get the word out there that it's there to get
Right.
people to go to that. But once the project is approved, then I expect to see, a whole lot more signatures on there. Hopefully, we don't get that far.
Yeah, how many people live in your community?
1,200.
1,200?
Yeah.
1,200 homes or
1,200 people live in the Lakes and the West.
Who can all sign the petition?
We've got 800 homes, 1,200 people.
I'm confused, have they filed this lawsuit yet, this $85 million lawsuit yet?
No, it's
or
not. It's
is that,
not.
that's in the process?
It's not filed yet.
It's not filed
In
yet?
order for me to talk the lawyers into doing it, I gotta show them 1,600 signatures, otherwise it just doesn't have an impact.
Well, my thinking on that was, say we do go ahead and process that lawsuit, we win this lawsuit for 85 million, where is that money coming from? We're a poor city, and if we were to obtain that money, where does the money go?
Well, there wouldn't be any money because the city of Hemet is self-insured because they have such a bad record with their insurance companies that no insurance company will insure them. Correct?
So why
So-
are we even trying to pursue this lawsuit? Does it make sense?
Would they vote to bankrupt the city of Hemet?
Would who vote?
The lawsuit is to get him to say no.
Right. Right.
It's the big stick.
Friday, I had a conference call with Deborah Brennan from Cal Matters. Does anybody know the online paper in California, Cal Matters? Check it out. She covers the Inland Empire. We talked for about 15 minutes, and when she heard that the Planning Commission denied it, recommended denial to the City Council, she said, all right, then, call me back when you know what's going on. She didn't want to take it. She said it wasn't a big enough story until either they approve it or they deny it, and the whole hoopla like that, so.
What if we got some of these big anchor, news, people to come out here, Channel 4 News, Channel 7?
I've reached out to the LA Times as well, and they have not responded. I reach out once a week to the man that covers warehouses. They've been so busy with the election, all of them said no, 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 no. So I keep following up, but.
I recently heard, at
But
Sunday.
back to your TV stuff, if anybody has contacts, anybody wants to take that on and reach out? I see rates, show of hands? No, huh?
I have a
Great idea.
Yeah, the other thing is, I recently heard, within the last couple of days, out at Sun Lakes in, Beaumont Banning area.
Ice cream.
I don't know, can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Out at the Beaumont Banning development, another Pulte development, Sun Lakes. They fought for
Yes.
3 years.
Yes, they did.
For 3 years, to not have warehouses
And
over
they
in their
won.
local area as well. And they finally won.
Great.
Oh, they did?
They finally won. I
They
don't
won,
know.
they won because of the, my cousin dates a woman that lives in Sun Lakes. They won because of traffic and pollution. They won because of pollution and traffic, and I'll find out their
Did they sue, or was it just they kept going to the commission?
They had an attorney. I can find out more tomorrow. I just got back in town, so.
It'd be good to know who
I
that
will.
attorney
I'll
is.
let you know. I'll let you know. I
Yeah.
promise.
Hold on, Julio.
It cost
Real
them over
quick.
$200,000 to fight that, and it is
To
done
do
by
what?
donations.
Into the mic, we can't hear you.
He's done.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
He said that it costs over $200,000
$200,000 for Sun Lakes to fight.
Sun Lakes to fight that.
Yeah, they're
And I
big.
know that some of the homeowners, made donations, they collected plastic bottles and did whatever they could to make a donation, but I can't believe, I think they've got 3,000 homes over there.
Yeah.
But, that's a lot of money to have to come up with, and for, our community, we're a small community, we're on fixed income, who could afford that? We're the little guy here.
I think since the election is over, I think we've been kind of disconnected by district, and I think it's time for all of us, all of the districts to come together,
Yes.
especially 3 and 4. So what I'd like to do is to form a citizens advisory committee and bring all of the districts together, because it's gonna affect the whole city. That is what I'm going to propose to the commission, to the council this week.
It is gonna affect the whole city, but
Right.
only a couple hundred people in this whole city even know this is going on.
Right.
And it's
Right.
these
I've talked
companies,
more than them.
okay, and these news companies won't take the story. So my question is, the Daily Shopper mailers, the Green Sheet, and all these little publications that go out, can we put ads in those? There's another place you can spend your overabundance of GoFundMe money
We can. You
to
Will you
raise,
take that project on?
to raise awareness,
Yeah, I think a
okay,
mailer would be.
to the whole city, so they know what's going on.
Are you ready to do it?
I have no idea what to even do. This is just an idea that just hit me.
It's a great idea.
I'll look into it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll look into it.
I think we could just do a mailer. I mean, that's what the
Mailer
campaign
to who?
is, just a mailer that we, like, for example, the mailers for the campaign, you see the mailers of each candidate.
pass them
and
out?
Just mail it. No, we just put it in the mailboxes.
Oh, because we don't have their addresses, we just puff it and put it in the
Well,
mailboxes.
we can get the list of addresses, and we can do,
From the
yeah.
city?
You can get it from the office of the registrar of the voters. There's different ways where we can get actual mailing addresses. It's the same as the way the candidates send out a mailer. We would just do one on warehouses.
How much do the candidates spend for the postage to send every citizen in the city a mailer? Maybe it's cheaper to put it in.
Yeah, it's a bulk mailing.
Or,
How much would that be?
We can investigate that. I've heard different, it depends on how much you pay for the mailer. It's not so much the postage, it's the actual printing of the mailer.
How much it weighs and all that.
And all of that,
Yeah.
and how fancy you get with that. But the actual postage wasn't very much. Cause that's why you saw so many
Right.
come from, right,
Yeah.
So we can investigate to see it.
Our district has 10,000 residents,
Yes.
so we don't know about District 3.
Right.
Which way is District 3? That way?
It's by where the
It's
new
seven
Kirby
houses.
warehouse is, so
Oh,
it's,
okay.
yeah, so it's Stetson, it's where the other two, Hemet Logistics
Right.
West, it's the other two warehouses.
I think I gave you a copy of the district map, you probably
Oh,
still
I
have
do
it.
have a map.
Yeah.
I just-
It shows the street order, yeah. All right, what else? Krista, you spoke to the cumulative air quality, our attorney spoke to that here. It's on this section here, so all of you that, when you get your copy, you take a peek at the website, it's out there. Greenhouse emissions, this is a picture that Alda and I and Victoria took last week when we came back. These are trucks, they're sitting there and they're idling.
That's a picture. That
It's
picture
in
has
Paris.
to go to the meeting.
It's in Paris, it's in a warehouse district. Take a look at the roads though. Beautiful roads. Curbs are beautiful, they've got two-way on each going each way. They have turn lanes as well. It's how it should be done if you're gonna have it. And we can't possibly do it here in Hemet. I have some videos if I can find them. Let me see. Let's see. Let me close this baby out. Where are my videos? Shoot. Somebody find him for me.
You know, another point, I'm sitting here thinking,
Thank you.
another
Fill in for me, would
point
ya?
that didn't come up were the emergency services. So the strain that it's gonna put on our police department and our fire department. Part of the community benefit could have been that they could have added a fire department to our city, which we desperately need already. So that point, I haven't heard come up.
Go to that picture again of those semis and just ask them, how's an ambulance gonna get through that?
On our little road. I
Yeah,
just wanted to
right?
mention, logistics crimes are huge, and they are big time crimes that are little in the police department.
Victim
Distribution
crimes?
warehouses, there are millions of dollars in those trailers, and big criminals are after those millions of dollars.
I've done research on it, and it's gonna be a huge problem for us. Not to mention where they're hiding that trailer storage. Can you imagine what's gonna go on in there at night? You know, I just feel like the crime is just gonna be overwhelming.
Okay, this is compliment to Joe and Victoria yesterday. They were driving down this, and this is on the 215, to the right of the 215, so I guess that would be west. They counted 22. He turns around, he said, of the 22, 19 were idling.
Wow. And they're not supposed to.
They're not supposed to idle, right?
But they wanna have their air conditioning on.
Right, and you know, here he goes down the other lane as well. And that's in a warehouse district.
And there's been no discussion of how they're going to enforce the trucks not to idle, or to enforce the trucks on the circulation routes.
You did hear Joe Males. He said, we're counting on the residents to help us monitor. Now, I know we're gonna stand out there every day.
Just say no.
Right,
Just say no.
right. We're retired. We're not working for Joe Males. He's working for us. Oh, there's the volume. Okay. We'll stop that one. I'm trying to find the other one. Cause it's a funny one. You all know Victoria, right?
Yep.
She's funny. She was taking us back from the airport, and she kept telling me, did you get that? I'm taking a video talking to you guys. Did you get that? Did you get that? I can't find it right now, but anyway, what else do we want to talk about tonight?
Is there a regulation that states how close, what's the distance of the warehouse to the residential area?
No, it's not 100. It's 300 today, but it's supposed to be 500 with AB 98.
900.
900 with AB 98?
Right,
That's
right.
what
Right. But see, if you put the warehouse and you set it where it is located, and then you say, well, you can't be 900 feet from a residence. So then that begins to tell what's gonna happen around that warehouse. The only type of project that could go around that to meet those guidelines is another warehouse.
So now, how the Kirby project was approved, because the houses are right there,
Right.
there's the park
Right across the street.
Because what they did is they manipulated the general plan. So a business park in 2012 was intended to be a transitional type use. So some type of use that would be compatible with residents, but also transition because you have those industrial that are across the street, across Sanderson. So it should have been what they said, it should have been like a medical center, medical technology center, a college campus, something like that would transition between the homes and the industrial. But they manipulated the general plan to say, well, it says light industrial, so we're gonna use that and to our benefit, and we don't have to provide public input because it was already analyzed in the general plan. And that's how that warehouse was able to go through.
Is there any chance that we can find it, or people that live close can find it? I cannot imagine people living right there, across the street. There is the park, people walking the kids playing in the park, people walking the dogs.
They weren't aware.
Can something be done, whether or not?
Not at this point.
Yeah,
it's
I think what we need to do is use that, because now we have a visual. This is the impact that has happened. So what we can do is we can use it as, we know what not to do. We can see now what it actually is that you're proposing, and we don't want that. So we have to use it as an example of, this mistake has been made, and now we need to course correct.
So it's not against the law that it's there?
It's not against the law, but, it's not a use that we want there, so we have to be vocal about that.
You know, many of the residents here in our community, as well as Emmett, we go along living our lives and we don't pay attention. This was only brought to my attention by Kathy, end of September, 1st of October, and that was by Catherine Botts, right? Another community member here.
Put in an email, and I went, oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's a resident here, she's been in Hemet for 30 plus years, so she was just shocked, right? And then we mobilized, so it's really, I think since October 1st, so not long. Yeah. But people until they see, how many times on Facebook or next door neighbor you see, what's going on at Kirby and Acacia? Just yesterday.
Oh my
People,
gosh.
really? They don't, we're not aware. We just, our lives are so busy, and we gotta understand that, right? A lot of these people are young families, young kids, they're taking care of grandparents, like us.
Look at Mustang,
Yeah,
all those two-story or more houses, and they're all for big families.
he's talking about across the street at Saddle Point.
And what,
No, the new one is going up. The new one.
Oh, on Thornton. Yeah. Same thing, yeah. Yeah.
But I'd rather have houses than.
yeah, well, they get their house, and now they say my kid's going to school, but he's got asthma, and these trucks are coming by and
We can't help them, can we? A day late and a dollar short. I saw another hand. Pam?
And I was riding with Pam and Dennis the other night, and they pointed out as we were coming home that there's a sign on Kirby saying 15,000 pounds, max.
Seven times.
Right at the corner.
Kirby and,
Acacia.
I don't know what those trucks weigh. We don't know what's in them either.
My motorhome weighs more than that.
Oh.
Those trucks weigh more than that.
Big rigs are about 56,000 pounds.
Oh my God, did you take a picture of that?
Yes. It was nighttime.
Yeah, Dennis has a picture. As soon as you turn from Acacia and you turn right onto Kirby, it's right there, near the benches here, and there's this.
You have a picture of the sign, Dennis?
I do.
Is it on?
I'll give you mine.
Is it
You have
part of
my
the
phone
truck
number?
route?
You can text it to me?
I don't know the part of it.
Okay, hold on a second.
Is that part of the truck route? That's what you need to find out.
Kirby?
They gotta
No.
drive on it
Where
to
the
get to
signs
Kirby.
are.
Kirby.
No. Otherwise, they'd be able to, the truck route sign on Florida is 8.5 by 11, metal sign. I finally saw it the other day. Alva and I were driving by and I said, oh my God, there's a truck route sign.
What about all the construction trucks going down Kirby that are part of it?
I think they.
That project's a done
Oh,
deal.
well, that's just temporary. Like when we saw the dump truck coming up.
That project's a done deal. We can only make,
I know, yeah.
we can only make the city council, we can only make their life miserable. Such a job.
I just wanted to tell you how much I appreciate you, by the way. Me,
Thank you.
I've been gone for a month.
I appreciate
And I
everybody
came
that's
back.
been contributing.
I came back and I saw Kirby look like a prison, and my cousin and my aunt live in Seven Hills, and they thought it was just gonna be a solar thing, but they don't have what you're doing, the blast and Seven Hills.
They got Joe Molly's.
They do. Oh! But I met someone at the corner, Kathy, from Seven Hills.
I know, and I've tried to tell her about our blast and how it
Right,
works.
and she said she doesn't have one. Unfortunately, they have 7,000, what, how many homes? Seven?
They should have a blast.
They should, but
Yeah,
they don't.
They have a blast because
Yeah.
that's how I've gone in there.
But they do not have one.
I've gone in there and met with them.
Okay.
Yeah. I've
Good
gone
to
in-
know.
Yeah, I've
Good to
gone
know.
in there and met with them. They do have a blast.
I wonder why my aunt and cousin, do you know?
I don't know if everyone is on it. That was some of the, I think there was about 300 residents or so that are on it, but there's
Oh.
1,200 in the community.
They have 7,000.
So-
That would be,
Yeah.
that would have been good, but they were never notified, Jane, at all. They thought it was gonna be a solar.
And I think part
Talk
of.
to their mayor.
Yeah, part of their issue in that community, as well, because we talked about knocking on doors. During the campaign, and they told us we couldn't, there's no solicitation policy in the community. So we couldn't knock on doors, so we did the email blast, but I think it wasn't to all of the residents. I did go in and have a couple meetings with, private meetings with some residents who allowed me to come in their home and speak, but, and I did do a couple large meetings like this.
It would be great if they would have been involved.
I think they still can, that's why I think right now what we need to do is we need to bring those communities together. We may need to, have a more of a, I don't know, a different type of communication, I don't know, the mailer, something, you know, because after the.
We can take 170 in this room.
Yeah, and that was the other concern was where would we meet, because I think we need all of the districts to come together now.
Can't we meet at the library as well?
We can,
I will help with Seven Hills, honest.
that would be great,
Yes, ma'am, Hillary.
Just a thought, I get next door stuff a lot. I rarely read it, but all of us could post on it.
I've been posting.
I've been following on it.
Yeah.
Have you? Okay. Well, I think we just, more of us need to say, make the community aware. Are you aware? Have you looked at Kirby lately?
And then you'll get a message the next week saying, does anybody know what's going in at Kirby Education? Because people aren't reading it either. People are not reading it either. You know, their lives are just crazy.
right. Well, and a lot of stuff is buried on the city website. It's very difficult to find.
It is.
So I think that's part of the issue as well. But like I said earlier, my plan is to direct the city council to do a citizens advisory committee. I don't know if anyone is familiar with those types of.
Will they do it?
I don't know, but we can try. We can start
Oh,
on
sure,
our
sure.
own.
Yeah.
we can start on our own. I mean,
Volunteers?
the county has what they call municipal advisory committees, so they have appointed members and then you can go in, but the developments are required to go in and present to these committees, and we need one. I believe we had one pre-COVID. I don't know what happened to it, I'm assuming COVID happened to it, but it needs to be reinstated.
That was the excuse they used. They said, well, you didn't do anything during COVID. Well, there was nothing to do during COVID,
Right.
but that was their reason.
Right,
And they just didn't.
Well, they had the
Yeah.
infrastructure committee, which they keep canceling. They had the development review committee, which they keep canceling meetings. I don't get it.
Yeah, the development review committee is within the planning department, so that's like the director's review. But we need a citizens advisory committee.
Makes sense to me. Sounds good.
What
Yeah.
about the community to the south of us? Somebody went-
Saddle Point, next, across Mustang.
Yeah.
Everybody knocked on your doors and delivered brochures.
And they,
Yeah.
Right.
We did, even in my own community in Willow Walk, we knocked on doors, we left flyers.
Right.
I had a meeting scheduled, I had no participation, very little participation. So I think now that we actually see the warehouse on Newland Kirby, that there will be more participation. That's what I hope.
Just leave a small note saying, you're next.
Yeah.
With
Can
a
we do
picture
it?
of the warehouse.
Can we do another Saddleback?
Saddle Point,
Yeah, is that the next development next to us?
across Mustang,
Yeah.
Saddle Point.
'Cause
Can we
that's-
what?
Can we do another,
Of course you can.
I'll
Of course we can.
organize.
We
it.
had one guy that Kathy and I were connecting with, and I'll share his name. His name's John Mitchell. He was on Next Door. And he was saying, what's going on? I was told by my broker that this was gonna be low density and there's nothing going on. So we shared all the information we could. I privately messaged him my number. This was 3 forums ago. I said, we're having forums, you know, invited him, I invited him again, I invited him again tonight, nothing. So people are busy.
And they have young families over there.
They should be
I get it.
interested, right?
They should be more interested with, cause their homes were very expensive.
Right. Kathy,
One of the things I read.
hold on, mics are coming.
One of the things I've read recently about the problem with the diesel trucks is when they're idling and there's, well, just even operating, the fumes that come off, the brakes, the tires, all that, and the exhaust is now calling what they call ground ozone, and it sits there. So it's bigger picture than
Yeah,
any of us
and like
know.
Commissioner Clark mentioned at the planning commission, we are in a bowl, we're in a valley, and that
Right.
stuff just hangs here.
Can we invest in the posters that, like, the election posters were placed around the city, like people want to
Sure.
inform the community?
We've got the ones that Shaul and the Green Coalition have posted, the black and yellow now. They're black and yellow, they used to be different.
Yeah.
And they will sell them for $6. We can get bigger ones. Yeah,
I'm not sure if there is a service that can place them for us,
I
local
don't know
city.
about that. You know, Kristen?
No, Charlotte was very helpful with that. I think the concern would be is where we post them.
Yeah, is it allowed to post them in the public?
So it was only allowed in certain places during the election. As far as outside, I don't know. We would have to be strategic on where we would place them.
Who would know?
The city,
Can we ask them?
absolutely.
It's just like having a garage sale. So take it on, yeah. I do know, it's just like here, we weren't allowed to have this meeting
Really?
7 years ago, yeah. We had to fight it because there's a regulation 4515, which says that if it is of public interest, we can hold meetings and we get the opportunity to post and, place banners, do whatever we have, anywhere that the HOA does, an interested party can do. So here we are, 7 years later, multiple forums, and everybody's happy. I mean, this is not a partisan thing. We're not here to beat up our board or management or any of that. We're here for common good, right?
Right.
Try to pull us all together for that, so. All right,
Thank
final
you,
comments.
Thank you for everything you've done.
Certainly,
Yeah.
thank you to everybody for their contributions. We need more warriors, more warriors.
Yeah, I think the important point is that we have to continue.
Have to, yeah.
I think, the planning commission was an important win, an important step towards the right direction, but we have to continue.
And to prepare you guys, when you do go to the meeting, those of you that have attended, because we had more attendance and more interest, they put our agenda items to the end of the meeting. So we're there all darn night, all night. You've been there till 10, 11, this planning commission, they voted at 11:47. The meeting wasn't even over. Everybody hightailed, but at least we got there to get to our vote. 11:47 PM.
So is there any way to make ours agenda first?
No, it's up to them, and because they know there's a lot of people that will speak on the topic, they put us to the end.
They moved one of them group in front of us because they knew it wasn't gonna take very long. They
That's
didn't wanna
right.
make them stay there all night. So
Right. They didn't wanna make
They're
them,
moving wherever they want.
they didn't wanna make them stay.
Right.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Harriet?
Before we leave, would you go through the dates for the meetings that are coming up and times and where? Like, is it the library or is it the actual city council?
December 10th, city council meeting, next Tuesday, 7 PM. 2 days from now. Yep, sorry. And it's at the public library.
At
7 PM.
On the second floor.
The following week, the 16th, is the planning commission meeting, and I don't know the time. They're making it that joint, it's usually 6.
Yeah, I haven't seen, have you seen the notification for the?
We only put them out like when that Friday.
I don't think we're even gonna get one for the powwow. It's between the planning commission and the city council. So they're
Meetings and agendas.
Yeah, they're every other week. City council's every other week. However, I would imagine they're gonna go dark at the end of December because of the holiday. I thought the planning commission wasn't gonna meet last week, and they did. So, you just have to keep checking the website. And it's under agendas and minutes. Hemet City. Yeah, HemetCA.gov. Yes, ma'am.
If they're voting for the December 10th, it's the moratorium they're voting on, what happens if they do vote again for the moratorium on warehouses?
It's a 45-day moratorium, and by law, there's some, and I don't know the law, maybe Krista, do you?
About,
Moratoriums?
well, it would just be whatever application goes in during this time period. But the moratorium is gonna be about, reviewing the guidelines that, like AB 98. So, I mean, the moratorium.
And the general plan.
Yeah, there's different items that the planning department needs to review, but 45 days is not gonna be enough. It's definitely not gonna be enough. There's a lot of other, items that are coming down the pipeline that need to be reviewed. For example, the truck circulation routes, all of the surrounding cities and jurisdictions are required to, come together and meet about them. So we know that's not gonna happen in 45 days. But basically what it will do is it will hold applications for industrial for 45 days while they're going through this review process.
So moratorium for warehouses only, under
Right.
35,000 over 35,000 square feet.
Right. So what I think is going to happen during that time period is they're gonna have to hire a consultant to come in and to start to review everything that needs to be looked at, that's required and mandated by the state. Because there's no way the planning department and with their inexperience are going to be able to write these. So either the city attorney or a consultant will come in.
They're already using consultants.
Yeah.
Gerald Taylor, a planner.
Yeah.
He's a consulting planner, and he was at the commission, and he was the one who presented the project last week on behalf of Hemet. And boy, did he fall on his face. And he doesn't live in Hemet. He has no interest in Hemet.
And they have in their, one of the reports that Warren is a 6-lane highway. And it's a 2-lane, and one of the commissioners was surprised, he goes, well, how many lanes is Warren, or something to that effect.
The
And
commissioners,
and
no.
the secretary said 4, I think, I mean, I guess.
It's not even 4, it's 2.
No,
Yeah.
it's 2.
Yeah.
But they had some plans.
It's the
to make it
2012
6.
plan.
It's
Right.
the general plan of Hemet.
And they had it, but they had it in, I think it was the developer had it in the report, that it's a 6-lane.
So the developers out here said he knocked on 50 doors in our community. He
Right.
knows it's a 2-lane street.
I know, he
So
was
what's he doing,
lying.
throwing that mumbo jumbo?
Yeah, so with that, so what happened with that is that they hire a consultant to write the EIR. The consultant just takes what documents that they have, and then they write and put all this information together.
It's
So the-
EDP.
Yes, EPD.
EPD.
Mhm.
Dyslexic.
The EPD. And so in the general plan, it designates Warren as a 6-lane highway, but then it was reduced to a 4-lane to a 4-lane road, right? But we know that in practice, it's a 2-lane road. So they're not going out and checking and fact checking. What they're doing is they're using these documents that they've been provided to write, the environmental impact reports.
And
Can
sometimes.
we get a microphone over here?
I just got one question. What are you gonna do about the berry shrimp? I think we need to implant some berry shrimp all along the road. The road goes like this.
The city council is voting on a resolution Tuesday night.
Hold on, we got a question.
They're voting on a resolution
Okay,
Tuesday night
everybody's restless, 1 second. Yes, sir.
on Warren Road. They've already done the studies on it, the engineering.
What are they voting on?
They're voting on, there's this consortium in Riverside County. They're voting on a resolution to pay the $1 million that they owe to the consortium for all the pre-work they've done for Warren Road from Esplanade all the way up to Simpson, going 4-lane up to 6-lane.
It's not a 4-lane today.
It's 2.
No, from 2-lane to a 4-lane, and in some spots a 6-lane.
So,
Yeah, they're voting on that at the city council meeting next week, yeah. With the RCTC, and what's going to happen with Warren. But I believe there's money that's owed that they have to pay back.
Yeah, they have to pay back $1 million, they're gonna vote on that Tuesday. And then by, I think it's 2028, 26, they have to pay another $8 million for the actual construction.
Emmett has to pay 1 and 8. Or what, we go to a county jail, or what happens?
Who's paying for it, Gene?
The city, Emmett.
City Emmett.
And so the developer will probably tell them that he'll pay that.
No.
He
He flat out said Tuesday, I'm not ponying up for that, or any bridge work.
We'll see what
He said he was gonna pay the city $2 million, and I said, oh yay, that'll give us a couple of miles.
It's 1 mile, actually. That's 1 mile.
Well, they say.
In a rural area, it's 1 mile. It's 4 miles in an urban area, and it's even more at inner city, and I just looked it up the other day.
Yeah, it's 1 mile, it is.
Yeah.
My understanding on the moratorium, on how I read it, and my understanding of it is that this moratorium will not affect the plans that are already in progress.
These 9 apps we have are not impacted by that. Except I differ with one of the things on AB 98.
What's that?
It says, sent you Shepherd Mullen, well, not just September, that's when, anything after that. But what it says is, if the project is over 250,000 square feet, and it's near a sensitive receptor, within 900 feet of a sensitive receptor, they must adhere to AB 98 ahora, not afterwards. And it applies to every app that was already in place. As if they had a rezoning, and our project is a rezoning. That's the caveat. If the project is being rezoned, over 250,000 square feet and close to a sensitive receptor, and we are, they have to concur and abide by AB 98.
Well, what I would like to add to that is we don't have to abide by AB 98. We can pass our own guidelines.
Exactly. They can be more stringent.
Can be more strict.
Right.
Absolutely.
This whole thing of how they notice us
Yeah.
within 500 feet of the project, who the heck was in 500 feet of that project? It should be miles for a warehouse project.
Correct.
Maybe 2, 3, 5 miles. We know the pollution is extended far beyond a mile. And what about the traffic? And what about the noise? And what about it? And what, so many things. So that's another thing we should recommend. I'm sure the citizens commission would.
Well, there is also an ordinance that you can pass called the Sunshine Ordinance. The city of Santa Ana has it. I was going to propose that on Tuesday as well. We need a Sunshine Ordinance and we need a Citizens Advisory Committee. The Sunshine Ordinance would require the applicant to present to a Citizens Advisory Committee a minimum of 2 times before a project is passed. And then they would have to provide evidence that they presented to that advisory committee and what happened. But each city can pass their own ordinance that's specific to them.
How many people do you recommend on the committee? The number of people?
We could do 1 per district. It's a number of ways.
We only have.
Well, we could do 5, so we could do 5 appointees that are actually, working, that are part of the committee, but it could be open to the public. It does not have to be restricted.
All right.
Like board members, like you can have like 4 or 5 board members, but we can we need to do some research on what the previous, what was implemented before.
Where'd the guy go that wanted to get to the attorney? He left. Tom left because nobody wants to do it, they just want to talk
You're not
about it.
listening to me, I'm not a attorney.
Right?
Do we know who the people are that are moving into Kirby?
Oh, the warehouse.
It's a
Yeah.
logistics
Warehouse.
provider.
Yeah.
They said
they have it's called Rialto Distributors, I think, and they distribute for 3 major retailers. He said it was Costco, TJ Maxx, I think that
The reason I'm asking is, can we write to them, because if I'm moving into this 1 million square foot building and the roads are like that, how my trucks or how's my people gonna move this material around with all that traffic? I mean, it's gonna sit there for hours and hours and hours, and trucks coming in, you're gonna have trucks parked on the road. Cause they come in, and there are a lot of these are freight liners that come from, cross country, and where are they gonna park? In that little, area, I assume, and the trucks are gonna be running in there. He said that they had a holding area for inside where the warehouse is, but not over there where the people are gonna be parking trucks and waiting.
Will they have refrigerators, items?
I don't know about the Kirby project. I know ours is not supposed to.
Yeah, so it usually, it depends, each project is specific, in this one, I don't remember
We
reading
didn't
that.
have an EIR, so I didn't.
Yeah, I don't remember reading about refrigerated trucks. Usually what they do is they build the infrastructure within the building, and then they allow the tenant to come in and make the decision, but it's supposed to be analyzed in the EIR. In this case, because it was an addendum to the general plan, I don't know.
Yeah,
Hold on, we can't hear you back there.
Yeah, on one of the slides, at the planning commission, they put that it was going to be apparel for Costco, Walmart, and TJ Maxx. So no refrigeration
That was for ours?
for ours.
Okay, you were talking about Kirby though, right? You're talking about Kirby?
Well, the gentleman said at the meeting
They're
that
also gonna.
the client that's moving into Kirby is also moving into this one. Maybe this one.
Yeah, funny, he said even his own employee didn't know they had a tenant. You remember, she said we do?
Yeah.
So we don't know if that's true.
Right, he talked to them once.
Yeah. Right,
And that's how
Good
the
point.
rumor started that Costco was coming to heaven.
whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like everybody that lives in the city and any 2,000 people, we're all looking for employment. So we're gonna.
Right. Right. Yeah, he was off base on it quite a bit, Mr. Tom Donahue, for the developer. Yeah. All right, any other questions? Who wants to, hire an attorney and figure all that out and do all that Tom asked for?
Who's gonna do it?
Tommy can do it. Yeah.
What are we figuring out?
Who can show up on Tuesday night at the front?
Planning Commission, yay! See y'all there. What are we all gonna say?
No more warehouses.
Longer warehouse moratorium, 45 days is nowhere near enough. We want a citizens committee, is that what it's called?
Yeah, a citizens advisory committee.
And we want sunshine,
We want a sunshine.
all day
ordinance.
long, we want sunshine.
Can you send email to everybody regarding that?
Regarding what to say?
What to say on Tuesday, yes.
Sure. Yeah. You'll help me out with your part, right? Okay. Okay. All right, everybody, thank you once again. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for your help.
This is Roy Michael with Channel 21 News. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.